Hi, everyone. I hope you are doing well. I wanted to come on here and record a special video today because we are in a very potent and pretty unprecedented time energetically. I know I feel like I say that every time that I come on here and record a video, but February 2022 is just already shaping up to be an incredible month. For us, just for many reasons. I'm not going to get into it too much because I plan to record a separate energy update. So check out my Instagram and my Facebook page for that. That information's down below if you don't already follow me there. But basically, with all the planets now in direct, and this being a month, a 2 month, February is the second month, it's 2022. We've just passed February 2nd, so 2/2/22. We also have 2/22/22 coming up. This entire month just is bringing, in this whole year, really, with it being a 6 year, twos and sixes are about partnerships and equality and balance. And there's just a really beautiful opportunity here for us to many of us are poised, to come into a sacred union this month. If not this year, it would be, could be this month even. And, keep in mind, and we're going to get into that too, I'm sure, as this comes along, but you have to first come into sacred union with yourself, your inner masculine and your inner feminine. So what I wanted to come on here today and do as far as this pick a card goes is to try to help you see where you are on your journey and see what blocks, what wounds, what things that maybe you need to contemplate as far as getting from where you are now to a point where you're either in union with yourself and or you're in union with a particular person. And speaking of that, I just want to remind you guys, and I know I say this over and over in these types of readings, but it's really critical that you let go of expectations and outcome with a particular person and how things are going to unfold. My own journey has taken a completely different twist and a different, just incredible, I guess want to say outcome, and I'm sure I'll share more as time goes on. But you just really start to usher in and bring in things when first you come into balance with yourself, and second, when you reassess and reevaluate and maybe sit down and really open your heart and think about what it is exactly that you really want in a partner and in a relationship and from someone else. And I can tell you that drastically shifts once you do that inner reflection. And I feel like for many of us, that was something that absolutely has taken place, December, January timeframe, the last 2-3 months with Venus retrograde and with Mercury in retrograde at the same time. So you might want to check out that energy update as well. But keep those things in mind. Just you guys know I've kind of pulled away, and I know some other readers like Mystic Moon, have kind of shifted gears on their, the content that we're putting out, just because there can be a unhealthy attachment or fixation on, outcomes with a specific person. So you guys will see that, although there may be messages that come out with respect to a specific person, just keep that in mind. Try to keep that in mind as it's a critical, I feel like it's a critical, at least it has been in my situation, to open your heart to all possibilities. Okay, so I'm going to timestamp this here in a moment once we get started. I know you guys probably saw the preview. Again, I know I still don't have my new setup up yet where we're focusing, only on the cards. But there is something about the connection energetically too. I do like to look into the camera because I feel like I'm talking to you directly. And I feel like for some of you, that may resonate more. It may feel like you're getting a personal reading from me if the messages, are are connecting with you. So, you know, we'll see. I do have the equipment and may change it up here at some point, but for now I'm just wanting to keep it the way it is. So go ahead and first I'm going to just walk through the decks that I'm going to be using. If you would like, you know, any information on the ones that aren't created by me, you know, let me know. The ones that are created by me, there's a link below for that, divineloveshop.com. I have a limited number of quantities on hand, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper than going to my Make Playing Cards website. So, of course, given the topic of this reading, you know, as far as where you are in your sacred union journey, you can, again, if you identify with labels, that's fine. You can, you know, if you identify yourself as a twin flame, as a soulmate connection, just a sacred partner, whatever it is, a special person, you know that you're on track for a relationship that's really special, that's outside the paradigm of the 3D norms, that is in a position where it's conscious, where both partners are giving equally, both partners are working on themselves and are willing to work together and communicate, and there's definitely a spiritual basis within that bond. So whatever you want to call it is fine with me. But if so, of course, we are using my Sacred Union Tarot deck, and in honor of the 222 energy portal that we're in, with from 222 to 22222 right now, this deck, the quantities that I have on hand, they are $14 off, which is, you know, I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's a huge discount. It's not a discount that I, you know, plan to offer very often with my decks, but you can use the code UNION on my Divine Love Shop website for those, again, limited quantities they're on hand, and that's through February 14th. So be sure to take advantage of that if you've been eyeing this deck. We're also going to use my divination deck. I've got 2 cards pulled. This is intended to give some just clarity on the situation, right? Just, it could be initials that come forth that give you further confirmation about, you know, that this reading is meant for you, or it could give some timing, or just some additional guidance. So I wanted to pull out that deck. And then we're also going to use my Triggers and Shadows Oracle. That helps us kind of look at what blocks and what wounds or what shadows, what things still need to be healed within you before you're really in that balanced state where you can magnetize that union within yourself and then bring it to you on the your external world as well. Okay, we're also going to use Mystic Moon Oracles. I believe she calls this the Twin Flame Oracle now. I bought it early on when she first released it, but in any event, it still has the same design on it, so you can get that from her. We're also using the Romance Angels from Doreen Virtue, which I believe is out of print now, but you can probably find these on eBay. And then finally, my newest deck that I just purchased is the Universal Love Healing Oracle cards by Carmen Salerno. And we're just going to see, the image may speak for itself, or we may have a you know, a message that needs to come out. But that's intended to be kind of the final message from Spirit or further guidance on where you're going. But we're going to just see how it comes out, because I pre-shuffled these, but I have not seen the cards. So again, number 1, just to refresh you, I think this is either, I always get them confused, this is either a rhodonite or rhodochrosite. Heart is number 1. Number 2 is the raw pink tourmaline. And number 3 is the rose quartz elephant. So we're going to set those 2 aside, and we're going to start now with the heart here for number 1. All right, let's see what we've got here. Whoa. You guys, you cannot make this up. You know, I know I feel like I say that on every reading, but holy crap. Okay, we'll get there in a moment. Okay. I feel like, I feel like you are, for those of you that chose number one, I feel like you're very, very close. You may be starting to come into sacred union with someone, but I feel like it's actually someone potentially, not the person that you maybe were, I don't know if that's the right word, but chasing, or maybe not the person who awakened you. I feel like you're at this crossroads where you are really, ready to let this toxic, unhealthy, unreciprocated connection go. I think you're starting to recognize that the 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 purpose, well, let me backtrack here. The that this is a fantasy, okay? That it's time to let go of the fantasy, I guess is what I'm hearing. We've got the Seven of Cups here from the Sacred Union Tarot, illusion, fantasy, opportunities. And so this is one actually where the image, you turn it this way and you can see she's staring off into the distance at this castle. Seven of Cups is about opportunities though. So I'm picking up on that you do have chemistry with someone else. And because we got the chemistry card here, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? There's a strong magnetic attraction here. You have been working on yourself. You have been working on your divine life purpose. And I'm getting that this person that perhaps you've had this fantasy and illusion about for a long time, they likely awakened you to your divine life purpose, right? Because we've also got the Nine of Pentacles here. This is about life purpose, self-employment, independence, okay? I'm getting that the longer that this has been going on, right, you're getting to this point where you focused on yourself, you're realizing you're kind of like, this is an illusion. I'm putting in the work, I'm doing these things, and this person isn't showing up. From the Mystic Moon deck, we've got Crossroads. And, you can see it's foggy. It's foggy just like it's kind of foggy here. I feel like perhaps the person that you had been dealing with, for the vast majority of your journey is avoidant. They may have addictions to drugs, alcohol, anything that's, not serving their greatest good. From the Triggers and Shadows Oracle, we have numbing, which is addictions, escaping, avoidant. I'm also getting, since this is a reading, about you personally and your own blocks and things that are holding you back, is perhaps that you may have some addictions. Perhaps, alcohol is the one that stands out given the image of this card. Perhaps you've been drowning your sorrows, letting go of this fantasy has been hard, and the coping mechanism that you've had, for a while is this numbing of the pain. And so, what I'm hearing is there's this crossroads here where you have been doing all this work for yourself and on yourself, but and I think deep down, I mean, if this is resonating, that this is what is holding you back. This addiction to, it could be food, it could be alcohol, to drama, it doesn't have to be a substance, but it's some sort of something that you're avoiding the pain, you're avoiding going within, you're maybe avoiding letting the fantasy go. And the interesting thing is, the divination deck, what we got was now and T. And so what I'm getting at, the time is now. The time is now. You're at this crossroads. I think you know what you need to do, but, you need to focus on healthier habits and lifestyles. I mean, just, everybody, goes through this in some form or fashion. I mean, in my own experience, you can find, if it's wine, or if it's like just having that drink or two to unwind at night, it's finding another beverage that you like just as much. And, if you, and put it in a wine glass, sometimes it's that placebo effect. It's like, okay, I'm going to drink a flavored water, or I'm going to drink sparkling apple juice in a champagne flute. Sometimes that's really, you're like, oh, that really tastes better and I feel better. And I'm thinking too that, put yourself, you maybe you've been working really, really hard, on a side business or your life purpose. This is the Nine of Pentacles, so it's the Pentacles energy, but you need to actually, connect to your soul. You might be getting burnt out to the point where you're in this, pattern where you're working really, really hard, and then, you're doing this, and it's like, this is like shutting out spirit and the messages. So what I'm getting is, again, I think you're very, very close. I feel like with this energy too, there's still maybe some darkness in the heart. You can see this crystal in particular is more black than it is pink. So your heart isn't quite open yet, I think, to this new person coming in, because you still haven't quite let go of this fantasy fairy tale with the other person in your past. That being said too, you very well may have a person in your life where, maybe you don't have a situation where you have a past person who awakened you. Maybe you've attracted someone in new, who you do feel, a spiritual connection with, you feel chemistry with, but you have this fantasy of your own creation of what sacred union should look like. They're supposed to, make you weak in the knees. They're supposed to make your heart flutter, and you have butterflies, and then you're supposed to have this, unhealthy attachment to where you can't get enough of them. And, I can say from my own experience, once you've done that inner work and you become balanced, I feel like feeling that deep, to me, desire, is a lower vibrational energy. That sacral chakra, if that's what's governing you, you're not living fully out of the heart. I mean, of course you want to have all of the the attraction, the chemistry with someone, but when you start to come into sacred union, it's about the heart chakra. And I think that's what, it's like, not about the times, in past relationships, maybe where you would just have, get drunk and numb and just have like, I don't know, just crazy sexual escapades and things like that. That wasn't heart-based, that primal, type of energy wasn't balanced. And so I think we have expectations sometimes of like what it should be like. And, I can, at least from my experience, the heart is where it is. The heart and the spiritual connection, the upper chakras, and peace is the feeling. I feel like there's certain things you want to feel, and when you feel kind of this unhealthy like attachment where you're kind of obsessed with someone, it's unbalanced if you're chasing them and you can't think about anything but them. When you're in union with yourself, it's, the chemistry is still there, but it's more based in the heart, and there's a more peaceful feeling. And sometimes you question, like, is it right? Because you're used to feeling something else, but looking back, that energy was, again, lower vibrational, it was toxic, and it was in this type of like addiction, right? Sexual addiction, or it was just something that there was codependency going on. So the last card, the reason I gasped when I saw it, you guys, because, this deck has, I don't know if it says how many cards are in here, 45 cards, and the card that came out in this reading is about sacred union. So, I want you to be rest assured that even though you may feel like you're at a crossroads, you may feel like, oh my gosh, why isn't this coming together? There's this fantasy I need to let go of, or this person I need to let go of. Even if you're in a situation where you haven't brought in this new person yet, this is confirmation that when you let this prior fantasy go, this prior person go, when you heal your addictions, when you stop avoiding your heart, what's in your heart, and you open your heart, the time is now to do that, and it's going to happen quickly. You're going to magnetically attract someone, and it says there's a strong magnetic attraction here. You're going to bring in somebody who is at your level and who, you feel a connection with on every level. They make you feel safe. They make you feel, it's stable. There's a friendship. There's sexual attraction. There's gentleness. There's support. You feel safe. You feel comfortable, but not in a way that's like boring. You feel like you can't wait. You feel peaceful. You feel like when they touch you, it's, it's just, it gives you chills, and you just want to be in their arms and melt in their arms. And then you have the spiritual connection. You have the intellectual connection. It just all fits together. So this is what's coming. Okay. You just may need to shift your idea or perceptions of how it's going to look, who it's going to be with. And again, there may be some either codependency or addictions that are holding you back right now, but you're so close. So I'm going to read and see what the Sacred Union card says in the booklet, because it will probably have some different messages for you guys. A touch, a word, or a glance reveals your beloved. A current friendship may blossom into something more. Okay. You guys, you can't make this up, right? As everyday connection transforms into a physical and or spiritual relationship, with the blessing of the divine, love becomes all-embracing. This is your season of love, a time for romance and happiness. Honor yourself in all your relationships by celebrating their divinity. Raise up and care for your friendships, unions, and partnerships as your most precious treasures. You are a beautiful soul. Look within and you will see it. There is a pearl in your heart. Close your eyes and feel it. Within each other, you discover love's infinite spiritual realm. In union with the divine, you can come to know the greatest love of all. That is so beautiful, guys. And it was 22:11 right when I looked up there on the timer. But I just love what it said. A current friendship may blossom into something more. Don't, hold on to this idea, this fantasy that it has to be a certain way, it has to be a certain person, because things can shift overnight. Things can just shift. There can be epiphanies. There can be, again, letting go of this, makes you open your eyes, and you suddenly are in an energetic alignment with someone who's been there all along, and you're like, whoa, where did this come from, right? So I feel like for, again, those of you who chose number 1, this is definitely something on the horizon for you very, very soon. And I think most of you know what work it is you still need to do. It's probably not a surprise. You feel like you're at a crossroads now. Like the only path forward, is to let go of these lower vibrational energies and ideas and fantasies. If you would like to look into your specific situation, though, that information is down below to book a session with me. So I hope that resonated for you all. All right, so we're going to move on to number 2. Number 2 is the raw pink tourmaline. Let's see what we've got here. Oh my gosh. The cards that have come out in the first 2 already, I'm just blown away. Oh my God. I am blown away. Absolutely blown away. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is just beautiful. Okay. I'm getting somewhat similar energies, honestly, as we did in number 1. There's some slight nuances, but if you chose number 2 and this resonates for you, you may want to also go back and watch number 1. But the first card we have from the Sacred Union Tarot is 8 of Cups. Evolution, ascension, walking away. All right. And what I picked up on, I mean, I didn't even see the other cards, and I'm like, you're walking away from the things that no longer serve you. You're walking away from lower vibrational connections, from unreciprocated, unrequited love, people who don't show up for you, the fantasy, you know, the storybook. You may not be able to see it here, but this definitely, this is a book, and she's walking on water and like walking on to the next chapter. In the romance angels, we have new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So I feel like, you know, you have been doing the work and you're moving on or starting to move on. If you don't, from, you know, perhaps the person you thought that was your twin flame, the person that, you know, who awakened you or you thought was the person that you would be in sacred union with. If you haven't brought in someone new yet, if there's not someone new who stirred your interest that you're like, oh, what's this? It's going to happen fast. We have the Chariot here. The Chariot, action, progress, momentum. It's a major arcana. I feel like with it being 7, I mean, some of you, I think, are very, very close. It could be as soon as 7 days. If there is someone that has come in your life and that you've maybe been dating them, or that it's a friendship and you're like, oh, are they going to ask me out? I mean, I feel like it could be as soon as Valentine's Day that something at least shifts. I mean, it's not like you're going to be in, you know, okay, we're like engaged and getting married, but it's like, you know, you may not be alone for Valentine's Day, right? And the reason, you guys, that I'm so blown away, it's like you've moved on, you're walking away. The Mystic Moon deck, you've got the Union card. I mean, what... Again, guys, I mean, look how many cards are in her deck. And there's definitely some ones in here that are not, you know, they're separation cards. These are not all peachy, happy ending cards, but union. I mean, so this is confirmation that you're doing the right thing by letting it go and walking away from the fantasy of whatever it was that you were clinging on to for quite some time. And if you haven't done that, you know, once you do it, things are going to shift for you very, very quickly. We also have, from my divination deck, we have soon. And you guys, I don't have a lot of timing cards in that deck. It's mostly alphabet numbers. So, you know, the fact that we've got this is crazy. Soon and F. I mean, what month are we in? We're in February. But F, you know, certainly could be, you know, if you're dealing with the new person in your life has a last name or first name starting with F, or there's a place you met, or you're going to meet them on a date. I mean, that obviously could be further confirmation for you. But the soon and F, to me, is like February. This month, there's going to be major, major shifts that happen within your connection, or on your journey if you don't have a connection with someone yet. This could be somebody coming, just you meet somebody new sometime this month. Now, going back to the triggers and shadows, we can't escape the, you know, like, what's holding you back here. Let's see. We've got arrogant, condescending, belittling, pride. So I'm getting a couple of different things here. There could be this could be the type of a vibe of a person that you're typically attracted to, right? You may be drawn to somebody that's got kind of this, like, I'm cool, I'm a hustler, I'm a, you know, player, I've got my cigar, I've got my nice suit, I'm a businessman. You know, that might be the type of energy that you've been attracted to. And so it's hard for you to walk away from that and maybe welcome in someone new who's got a gentler, you know, a gentler vibe about them, a nicer vibe. They're, you know, it's like maybe in the past you've always been treated like shit, you know, excuse my language, but somebody's talked down to you, somebody's been condescending, and you're used to that, and you're not attracted to somebody actually being nice. So that could be something that you need to work on, is like just thinking about what it is you really, really want in a relationship. You know, obviously knowing in your mind, okay, in your heart, what do I want versus what you're actually attracted to. You know, those are two different things. You know, you don't want to settle. You want to be attracted. You've got to be attracted to the person. If it's going to be a sacred union, you've got to feel that love and that draw. But I think what I'm getting, kind of like I did in the first one too, is that, you know, the universal heart card is here. And this came out, guys. I would highly suggest that you check out my Instagram and my Facebook. One of the last posts that I put up on 2/2/22. This card came out, and it, to me, the message I got was that living, the universal heart is oneness. Living from the heart and the upper chakras versus the lower chakras. If you're attracted to somebody who's, got this bad boy vibe, that's a lower chakra, lower vibrational energy. So there's something there that you maybe still need to work through. And I would get it as more of a fear, maybe, if you're holding on to that type of energy, perhaps needing to work through an imbalance, with, again, just opening your heart and focusing less on that sexual sacral chakra. There's something there. It's like you need to take that energy and maybe put it into something creative, because when you live from your heart, this becomes repulsive. This type of energy becomes repulsive to you, and you are drawn to something that's more gentle and loving. This also could be too that this is pride. Just, perhaps maybe there's somebody that maybe you're afraid of what people are going to think, like, oh my gosh, are people going to judge us? And so you're kind of putting down in your mind, like belittling this, like, I would never want to be seen with this person, or there could be something about that where, you need to let go of your pride, and open your heart, get out of your head and into your heart is what I'm hearing. Okay. So let's see what the Universal Heart card says. And you may, since you were drawn to the pink tourmaline, this might be a crystal that you want to work with as far as healing and opening your heart. And I'm also getting too, I don't know specifically the properties of pink tourmaline, but I just wanted to mention that because it's got the white in it, that you might want to work more too on that inner union with yourself and God, because that's part of, opening your heart is opening up your crown chakra as well, is what I'm hearing. Once you, repeatedly, and you just start, connect to the all, to oneness, and you anchor that 5D higher vibrational energy again, this type of thing and the lower chakras, it doesn't really pull you down as much, right? You tend to take that energy and just put it into more higher vibrational activities versus even having a desire for sex anymore. You want to engage in creative endeavors. You want to engage in helping people. You want to engage in, dance or, other physical activity that again is, just raises your vibration, I guess is what I wanted to say. All right, Universal Heart. Okay, so stare into the face on this card. What does it reflect to you? Meditate upon this card. Hold the image in your mind and visualize the human face disappearing into a skyscape of stars and galaxies. Find the space beyond your thoughts where you have access to infinite creation. Endless possibility is open to you when you go within. Drifting in space, we can take in the light of a billion stars. Find the quiet within and let yourself drift in that space without attachment, and take in the glory of your potential. The creativity within you is limitless. All is possible for you. Explore the light within by choosing to bring your spark to the world. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is crazy, because this was talking about going within and the oneness. It's about the face, like the human form, disintegrating into the stars, the cosmic energy, what are our souls made of? We're one with the stars. It's that higher vibrational connection. So they're saying to go within more and focus less on this external, distractions. It also talked about the creativity within you is limitless. Explore the light within by choosing to bring your spark to the world. I think that's where they're saying there's a confirmation that, that sacral chakra energy that would maybe make you attracted. Again, I was saying take that energy and put it into something high vibrational. Use your talents, you know, be it drawing, be it, you know, creating something, creating dance routines, getting out and, you know, maybe writing a book, writing inspirational posts. I mean, there's just lots of possibilities. Whatever you're drawn to, you know, that's what I would focus on. So I hope that was helpful for you. And again, if that resonated, I would suggest watching the first video as well. All right, guys. So we are going to number 3, which is the rose quartz elephant. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Ooh. I feel like for those of you that chose number 3, you may have very recently went through some sort of a heartbreak. I feel like you devoted yourself to someone and they weren't honest with you. I feel like they had an affair, they cheated on you. And, you know, as far as where you are right now, you know, I'm getting a strong feeling, a strong energy that, you know, you maybe need to turn that devotion that you had to that person into your self-healing. You may be really, you know, hoping or out there and trying to meet somebody, but until you heal your heart from what's happened, I feel like there's a risk that you're just going to keep getting into the same types of relationships. So from the Sacred Union Tarot, we've got 4 of Swords, rest, healing, recovery. So this is, you know, a woman on the couch, you know, with her cat, just, you know, combined with the Hermit. The Hermit is a major arcana, solitude, going within. And in this deck, you know, I specifically, you know, said that this is about celibacy. It's kind of hard to see it, but the woman she's got like a towel and a robe, like she's on her, you know, by herself, got her feet propped up, and she's like just going within and like in her own world. And I feel like that is, you know, I'm getting, again, just a very strong feeling that that's what Spirit wants you to do right now, is to stop trying to find external validation, and let go of the need to have someone in your life. And you need to heal from whatever this was, because the triggers and shadows was third party. Okay, so I feel like this is something that I feel like this is something that has, again, take it how it resonates, but I feel like this is the wound within you, is that you've been cheated on and it's hard for you to trust after that happens, and that there's a lot of inner reflection that needs to be done from that. There's forgiveness that needs to be done, not just from, you know, from you to that other person that did this to you, but for yourself. This is a time to really contemplate and reflect on what happened, to journal, to write letters, you know, to this person and burn them. You know, write out all your anger, write out all your frustration, write, you know, sit down and reflect on the red flags that were likely present when you got into a relationship. Perhaps you were the third party, you know, perhaps they left somebody for you, and it was you know, that should have been maybe a red flag that, hey, they might just do this to me, right? Just, you know, where were they not being open with you? Where, you know, did you have doubts, you know, that about how they felt about you? Those types of things. And, you know, and what made you want to stay? What made you want to be with this person? Was it fear that you couldn't find someone else? Was it fear of being alone? Was it codependency? You know, those are some deep things that, you know, you really need to examine and you need to work on healing before you get into a relationship with anyone else. You have to heal yourself, and you have to find that devotion and love to yourself, because once you do that, number one, this is going to attract, like moth to a flame, healthier connections that don't result in this. Healthier connections where you have heart-to-heart conversations, where you honestly discuss your feelings with each other, because I'm feeling like that never happened before. I feel like you were always walking on eggshells, and they would, tell you that they were working late or they were doing this or that, and you always had doubts and you always had fears, and you never felt like you could be your true self with them, and you never felt like you could raise these issues, or they would gaslight you or downplay it, like you're crazy, like why are you so insecure, and when you first of, I'm getting the message too, that you need to have these heart to heart conversations with yourself, because you can see, like, she's trying to talk to this guy, and he's like looking away, like, I have no interest, I don't want to be here. It's like you're talking to a wall. You need to have, turn inward. I mean, got the Four Swords, the Hermit, heart to heart conversation, devotion, and work through all of these things as to, like, oh yeah, that was a red flag, and why did I put up with that? How did I feel when he or she said XYZ, and what happened next? And really, just when you sit down and reflect on these things, it starts to make sense. And there's, you shouldn't feel bad. You shouldn't feel like it was a mistake. I don't believe anything was a mistake, because one day you're going to look back on this and you're going to say, oh my gosh, yeah, this is painful, this hurts, but this was a beautiful lesson. And now, because I went through this experience, I know what to look for. I was given the gift of, being forced to love myself. And now I've attracted this amazing partner who treats me well and does, it is everything I've wanted. So you have to go through these unpleasant, painful experiences to rise from the ashes and to dig deep and do that work. But right now, to get to where you need to be with somebody. But right now, unfortunately, I know it's not easy to hear, but you need to be in your own energy. You need to heal and learn to love yourself. That is something, I can definitely work with you on. I love, to work with clients. I don't love that clients are going through these experiences, but I feel like part of the reason that I went through the experiences I did is so that I can help people power through and maybe not spend as much time languishing and having regrets as I did, because that's, you shouldn't have regrets. You get to a point and a place of empowerment where you're in gratitude, where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that person did cheat on me, because I didn't want to stay in that situation anymore. They were not being kind to me, and they've shown me this is what I don't want, and this is what I'm not going to put up with again, right? So when you start to look at things from a place of gratitude, that really does, help shift your perspective and your vibration. As far as the divination deck goes, we have G and we have K. So I don't know if that's further confirmation for you of, any particular person you're dealing with or situation. But the G for me, what stood out was going within, connecting to God. And the K is like kindness. It's like being kind to yourself. This person, I just feel like, was not kind to you. I don't feel like it was just, oh, everything was great and there's one, this person, I feel like gaslighted you, and made you feel inadequate and unworthy. So it's definitely, there's definitely some time. And I can tell you, I mean, just from my own experience, right? I went through an emotionally toxic and emotionally abusive relationship. And I thought that 6 weeks was a long time. 6 weeks in one counseling session was sufficient time to be single and healed. And, it wasn't. and everybody's different. Some people 6 weeks might be enough. You might really hunker down and do that inner work. But in my experience, you need significant amount of time, months, even years. I was single 5 years. I really didn't date anybody much during that time. But anyway, 6 weeks was not enough for me, and I rushed into a relationship way too fast, and it ended up being my second marriage, and it crashed and burned, and it's no wonder. There were red flags, of course, from the start, but I had an equal part in that too. I wasn't healed. I was not healed from that relationship. I had so many, not only just my inner child that hadn't been healed, but the effects of that relationship and where I was in defensive mode and things like that. You definitely need to do that reflection and that inner work. Otherwise, again, and I don't want to be negative, but you're going to risk putting yourself in the same situation with the same types of people. And it's better, you get to the point. I never thought I'd get there. I never thought I would be alone and celibate for years. And, but you get to the point where you learn to love yourself so much that you're never going to let that unhealthy energy in again, and you're never going to put up with that. The last card that we have from the Universal Love Oracle is Golden Memories. Now, I'm going to say this as, don't burn the past and say, oh gosh, I have regrets. To me, it's like golden memories. It's like even the unhealthy relationships I had, I look back at them with gratitude for them helping shape who I am and who I've become. And I feel like when you anchor that state of gratitude, you really do start to shift things for yourself. But let's see what this says as far as golden memories. And sorry, of course, my cats, it's about their feeding time, and they're starting to act up. So if you hear any chaos in the background, that would be why. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is interesting. All right. So this is actually, this might be a message from a loved one who has crossed over, that you maybe are heartbroken from that too, and perhaps you put up with unhealthy situations, just because you were so lonely or devastated in that grief from losing someone that you loved, that you just wanted to be with anybody and didn't want to be alone. So let's see what this says. Someone is thinking fondly of you at this very moment, reflecting on golden memories of precious moments spent together. He or she is someone dear to you who has passed into the world of spirit. They want you to know that all is well, and neither time nor space can separate that which is united through love. For love has no boundaries. Its presence reaches beyond walls, grievances, and lifetimes. It is not bound by borders, fears, or hurt. Love is without self, without ego, and as constant as the light of a billion golden stars. We all leave our physical body at some point, but our spirit lives eternally. Those we love are always with us. They live in our hearts, and a part of us lives in theirs. Love is never lost. So again, I'm going to remind you, if you did have a loved one pass on with either a G or K as an initial, that could be confirmation that they're here with you. This could be a spirit guide, ancestral spirit guide, a grandmother. I'm getting that coming through when we do have the G here. Just a kindred spirit, with the K, somebody that you cared about very deeply, but I feel like they're here to help you with this healing process, and you can call upon them. You can call upon them and ask for signs. I think that's one of the most profound things that helped me through my second divorce, was starting to notice the signs and synchronicities that Spirit was sending me. I would, you just start noticing, and the more you notice it, the more it happens. But, you may start seeing feathers. You may start getting, finding coins in random places. Like one time I pulled up to a friend's house and went in to check on her cat, and I wasn't there that long, and there were no other cars around. I pull in the parking lot, there's nothing there. I come back out, and I was going through a pretty challenging time where I was trying to figure out some things, and there were all these coins like right around my car, and it made no sense. So stuff like that, you can even ask this specific person, if that person came through for you in the reading, or just ask a guardian angel, an archangel. Archangel Michael's a great one to work with, Archangel Raphael for healing. But you can ask them, say, please, show me a sign, you can ask for a specific sign. But once you start connecting to Spirit that way, that really can help transform you in your healing process, to know that you might be physically alone, but you are never alone because you're connected to the all. You're connected to, this person who's come through and given you a message today. And ultimately, it helps you turn inward and show that devotion and love to yourself when you realize that energy never dies, and you realize that there's a lot more going on and connected to you and working with you. So I would highly recommend you, again, connecting to angels, working with your angels, and focusing on loving yourself. If you would like to book a session with me, that information is down below. I would love to help you on your healing journey. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. And until next time, take care.